Happy birthday.
Hello, Leonhard.
I am first here.
Yes, you're the winner.
The winner takes it all. Hey,
Wow, I feel joy to see you.
me too.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Leonhard, I was just in a call with Dawei and Meredith about the New York Bridge House.
Mm.
I'm going to be I'm going to be there.
Wow.
Yeah, I changed my mind about coming to Europe in September, and it was a big, like my whole system was like, whoa. And now, yeah, like being in the space with them, can see how much energy is moving, how much is rolling in my system, and this joy of having done this scary thing called change your mind. Oh, look, it's Gabriella.
Hey. Cool.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, I've seen that they bring up this project and it looks very interesting, fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello,
Hey.
Gabriella. It's like a, oh, Philip, yay, and Karen, yay. Hello. Wow. Wow, this is such a cool constellation to begin with. This we have Leonhard from Germany, Gabriella calling from Brazil. Wait, where'd she go? and and they were
I'm back. I'm changed my internet.
Matthew's coming in. Wow, this is so. So Leonhard and Gabriella were at the Bridge House in Czechia, and hello, Matthew.
Hello.
Philip, I know from the west coast of BC here, and his partner Karen, and Matthew, who is calling from North Carolina, right?
Yes.
And wow, I've this is cool. I've seen all of you in the last year in person in significant ways.
Mm-hmm. I'd say that's for sure. Yeah.
Matthew, I keep having flashes of our time together on the Unbecoming a Lone Wolf tour last year, seeing places we were together, and
Ah,
yeah, just having this like, that happened, and having Leonard and Gabriella come in at the beginning of this call when I just got off a call with Dawei and Mary, who I will be with in the New York Bridge House in September to December, now that I've changed my mind about going to Europe.
hmm.
So this is a big change in the last few days.
Who was the second person? Dawe and
Meredith,
what's her last name?
it's not coming to me.
That's all right. I was just wondering. New York.
Yeah,
All right.
upstate New York.
Okay.
So you will not be in Europe anymore.
Correct. Yes, not this fall after all. So the plane ticket that Echo arranged for me, I had been assuming that this was my path, and what happened was there was a lot of emotional fear winding up in my system, and I was noticing that I wasn't creating, I wasn't rolling with creating, delivering my archetypal lineage. I was so bound up with this emotional fear that I wouldn't have the I had all these things to take care of way on into the future, and I was having a hard time being present. And then a few different possibilitators asked me dangerous questions, and this kind of churned it all up. And one morning I noticed that I was making my future my enemy, and I was in this massive drama about this this enemy that I had to fight and figure out. And oh, it was, and I thought, whoa. And the question from Dawe came back: what would it take? What would it take? And what did I really want? And even though I absolutely, hello, Sage. Wow, welcome.
Hello.
I'll finish my sentence and then I'll weave you in. When I noticed what I actually want, when I was super honest, was to be at the New York Bridge House and to stay on the North American continent and weave village in this part of the world. And like, it just, this clarity to end this this pattern I have of spreading myself very thin and having my fingers in all the pies. And I started to take my fingers started to remove myself from different groups on Telegram and tell some people I changed my mind about this and that and this. And now I'm where I am, and it's so great to be where I am and not have created this reality where I'm spread so thin and really like setting myself up to be a victim of my own life.
How could you get a better birthday present?
It's happening right here. Though what comes to me next is Matthew, what would it take for you to come up to the New York Bridge House?
It would take, when did you say it is?
September 15th to December 15th.
Well, the immediate logistical things are just about, do I want to work with the kids again during that time, which I really like doing. So being down here and and just do I want to build where I am or go somewhere else? So those are sort of the not just logistical, but just decisions too that I would need to make about those things.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's safe to say that everyone who's here, and Sage, your face disappeared, but I see you're still here, is invited to come to the New York Bridge House. And also something about the space with Dawe, Meredith, and I is that we're also seeing each other as we create the Lighting the Edge gathering in North California at the end of June, beginning of July. And yeah, I mean, sometimes I feel scared to invite people to something that it seems like highly unlikely they wouldn't be able to join. And I'm not going to make that my problem. So you're all invited to yes, the New York Bridge House. It's called, Khalida. I saw your question there. And I heard myself saying to Dawe and Meredith is, when it comes to both of these spaces, this next culture experiment pop-up gathering that's 4 or 5 days in a campground, and this 3-month Bridge House experiment, I am alive for these spaces. Just everything starts to move when I'm part of these kinds of teams. And I feel joy to welcome you, Sage, as someone with whom I lived in Calgary for a time. in the community house that was brand new when I got there, and I got to be with you and the others there, including Beatrix, who's 3. That was super sweet, and yeah, really thank you for welcoming me into your home and your lives, and I feel glad also to welcome you, Kalita, especially considering there's a possibility that I'll get to see you for the first time in person in California at Lighting the Edge. Wow, it's I'm surprised that I'm on a screen with so many people and there's one person so far I haven't been in person with. Usually it's it's often the other way. Yeah.
I have a short birthday song, which is not the traditional birthday song that is sung, at least in the United States. I'll say the words first so that anybody can sing that wants to, and then also Nicole, I would say you can decide if you want it sung to you after hearing the words. So it goes, happy birthday to you. We're so glad you're alive.
I know it.
Cool.
It's the best. Yeah.
Yeah. You're a gift to the earth. And then we'll sing it another time, which is you're a gift from the earth. And then the last part is bless the day of your birth. And I've heard it as different versions, but that's the version that I know. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Cool. So I'm trying to think of the best way to do it. Could do it as call and response, maybe. Birthday to you, happy. So yeah, we go, yeah, cool. So it'll go, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you. We're so glad you're alive. Cool. And I'll do it slow. So, happy birthday to you.
Happy
Happy birthday to you.
We're so glad you're alive.
We're so glad
I'm so
you're
glad that
alive.
you're alive.
You're a gift to the earth.
You're a gift to
You're
the
a
earth.
gift to the world.
Bless the day of your birth.
Bless the
Bless
day.
the day of
That's your day of your birth.
So we'll do it again with you're a gift to the earth. Happy birthday to you.
Happy
Birthday to you.
We're so glad you're alive.
You're
We're
so
so
glad
glad
you
you're
are alive.
alive.
You're a gift to the earth.
You're a
You're a
gift
gift to the world.
Bless the day of your birth.
Bless
Bless the
day.
day of your birth.
And that's all recorded for posterity.
Thank you. Thank you. This it fits beautifully with this research that I'm in about my job description right now is that I'm an experimental, a transformational experiment creator and catalyst with Team Gaia. And then this, like, as Team Gaia and for Team Gaia, and it's really this research about becoming Gaia and becoming Gaian, and it really kind of knocks out a lot of the like what that song did, that with the from the earth and for the earth. It's like that's it's not either or, it's both at the same time somehow, and to have that, the experiential the experience of being Gaia for Gaia and from Gaia is, yeah, and right now being in this part of the world where, and having my birthday be the time of year where spring is springing and Gaia's really coming to life, and and having that experience be reflected in my blood and bones and my energetic body, and yeah, and a resurgence through my archetypal body where this next level of purpose is coming clear and coming up and around. Yeah.
I had impulse now of I already had this question, what does it mean birthday? And in modern culture is this thing of giving gifts and almost automatic thing of birthday. And I've been experiencing birthday as a reconnection. My internet is unstable, so could you hear me?
Yeah.
Thank you, Sage.
I heard
Okay.
every word, Gabriella, but some of it was a little bit delayed, but I could hear what you said. Yeah.
Okay. I exchanged the internet again. Let's see if it works. So what I was saying is that like I've been experimenting the birthday as a reconnection with your life, as a like a remembering of why you are here in Gaia. And when you are sharing about this Gaia thing and you rediscover your job description, I get the impulse to bring as a gift of like what is the gift about being with you in my life, like of spending time with you in the past more. Now it's online and virtual. But my invitation to this space is this impulse of each person bring in some words or in some song or in some art, whatever you want, expressing to Nicole what is the gift about being with Nicole in your life, and what is the qualities of Nicole's being or her, what she bring when you are in the presence of her, that is this reminder of her birth celebration today. I want to propose that to the space. I want to check if any of you have some resistance to go in this direction.
No, none from me.
No. Okay. Okay. So I want to start. I proposed I want to start.
Yeah, and then we want to go after you because we got to run to the ferry. So we're after you, Gabrielle.
Do you want to start, Philip?
Hey,
So,
you know what?
before
If
you
we
leave?
can jump the line, sure.
Okay. So go.
Did I say anything? So, you know what? The magic I love in Nicole's way of being is how many people, apart from probably each of you, but apart from all of you, how many of you people do you know in the world whose business it is full time to do personal growth and development and just to live in that space of full time evolution? And I love that about Nicole. Do you want to share anything more?
Sure. I mean, Nicole, I just feel I have such an appreciation for you. We met that wonderful visit that you came over to Philip's place, and it was just such a sweet connection. And I love how you love Philip and Philip loves you, and you both extended that to me. And it just, yeah, we wanted to honor you today. See you again in some form, anyway. Yeah.
Thank you.
Nicole, when I'm in your presence, I feel a light of aliveness, this lightering, the aliveness of I'm here and I want to expand the edges of what I see that is possible. And when I'm with you, I'm so inspired about connecting with my heart and with what I really want to do it. So when I hear you sharing here about your change plan and your upside down word happen in your life with this decision, I get inspired of being really with my heart. And the time I get the opportunity to live with you, I could experience that quality of heart, that is this green light that come through, and that fill this space with so much love. Even when it was like no drama happening, was I could or something happening, I could experience this Gaia energy embracing and wanting to evolve the next time. And the times you text me or I receive an audio from you is this commitment with I'm in your team. And this inspired me about how can I be in another people's team so present and so committed with another person commitment. So your being is an inspiration for me about commitment out of school, because in school is this commitment as a task, and your commitment it's so different. It's like a force of nature that it's a root that grows and is not a thing that some have to be. I appreciate that. Thank you for your being existing in earth.
How are your receptor sites, sweet Nicole?
I'm doing this experiment where letting things in and letting like appreciation and the experience of being seen and the experience of what I experience myself to be being reflected back to me as someone who is on your team. And my old pattern is I start to feel sad and I go into the past with this victim story of how it's been in the past, and I'm doing this move of growing my joy, and it comes up as if it comes up right here and stretches to hold the sadness here and now, and to have this, to really experience sadness as connection, as a way of spreading out so much and not becoming diluted. Like this spreading myself out, it's like the shadow of the village weaver, where spread out too much and too thin. But this, when the joy holds the sadness, and the sadness can just flood all the way to Brazil, and to have this connection, and to have the healing of it in my system after longing to hear someone say, I know you're on my team. This is what I experienced, is that you are on my team. Thank you, Gabriela.
Nicole, I started last year around September, October, where I slowly more and more opened up to be brave enough to write in Telegram groups of PM and write what's going on inside of me. And I had this impulse to write in the free space, because the free space was and is still such a important practice for me. And then you propose to have a space with you to explore the 333 practice together with you, and it was such a I remember how the space with you created this seed inside of me, that opening up in this opening up in showing myself, and this first glimpse of having someone in my team I had with you, and it was, I'm very thankful for that. I'm still remembering this day. It is very present inside of me when we had this coaching together, and then I met you in the bridge house in person, and then we did even more 333 together and experiments together, and from then, yeah, I have a spot in my heart for you.
Thank you, Leonard. What comes to me is that I see such a different Leonard on the screen today than I saw in those days of our first calls, and now to have Christina and Martin here too, with you and Gabriella as the Possibility Coaching Bridge House family.
Hey
And
there.
Hey.
yeah,
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Nicole. Happy birthday to you. So you need to blow.
Works.
thanks for being on my team.
So cool.
Hello, Mage Nicole.
From the another side of the universe, your spring, your wind can come through.
Welcome, and welcome Ripple, welcome Taylor to this space. Oh, another person. Oh, is it Justin?
Is it Justin? And see what he has on his hat?
A vibe pin, yay.
We were at a dance event last night. Some might call it a rave, and we were volunteering for the Vibe Squad. So your creation lives on, and I was just listening to all the people share how much they love about you, and it was cool to reflect that I met you outside of the realm of possibility management, and I met you at Intention in a festival, and that was my first experience of you, as in a circle, and you were using this distinction of vibe and what a vibe is, and how we need that in the village, and how we can create that for each other. And you had a vibe menu. And the vibe menu is, what do you need? How can I hold space for it? What do you need right now? And that's this was like new to me. This was new culture being developed in front of my eyes, or having been developed and being practiced. And I remember feeling so empowered by this, and going out immediately, finding someone, saying, what do you what do you need for vibe right now? And just being able to hold space for someone in a whole new capacity than I ever had before, just with like really clear instruction, from sitting in this workshop with you. And I think what I found most I found it fascinating was that you're the oldest person there, technically in years, but in spirit, someone was mentioning about this aliveness that you have, and that was my experience of you. It's just extremely, like, my term for it is just like there's like a youthful curiosity and just like being there, being present, creating, yeah, being on this team of young people, and that just seemed really, I that really excited me, and I felt really drawn to you and the work that you're doing in the world. So thank you so much for being born on this day. I love each time I get to learn a bit more about you and where you've come from, and how you've come to be the human you are today. Yeah, I know that I find so much richness in that story, and so thank you. And I will just see if Justin has anything he'd like to share. We're driving currently.
I can do it. Yeah, Nicole, you're such an inspiration, and everything that I've learned so much from you. And remember first hearing about the Love Smart cards and putting those into practice, and just seeing the community that you have often around you, that you know, like it's just so beautiful, the type of environments that you create and co-create with everybody. We think,
and like teach other people how to be a part of it. It's
yeah,
so cool.
Yeah, I've learned so many great practices from you. Your vulnerability is so inspiring and powerful. How open you are to sharing what process you're in, and what yeah, like the kind of world that you're creating for yourself, and manifesting, and like helping bring people into this kind of aliveness and this kind of like experience of being open and being connected and being vulnerable. Is just so incredible. It's so needed. And yeah, I'm so grateful you're in my life. I'm so grateful that, you know, you're still doing really good work. You're still inspiring people, loving people, and just showing up in such a powerful way for everyone to witness. And yeah.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Taylor.
And the dogs say woof.
Thank you, dogs. Taylor, I don't know if you saw my message to you last night. I asked for you to be the co-host of both of the offerings that have come into being with sparks from you, and one of them is a fear club. This is a new version of fear club experimenting that Taylor was was the initiator, really. Like, she sparked me into creating this extended fear club, that there will be a couple of calls before and 3 calls after I'm in the Expand the Box in lab in California. And I asked you, Taylor, if you will kind of be the space holder for the 2 Fridays in between. Not necessarily like, you know, you don't have to be a fear club space holder, like, you know, and that's what you would be. And to continue the experimenting while I'm not available to come into the call spaces. And you don't have to answer that right now. This is
but it's very clear. I'm a heck yes on that. Yes. With all 5 of my bodies.
Perfect. Yay.
Yeah, I'm definitely in. It would be my honor, Nicole.
Wow. Thank you. I feel this joy of having this growing, like, Western Canada village that's just weaving into being. It's almost like it can catch the other edge workers out here for us to become more connected and yeah, really get rolling with empowering each other by sharing the distinctions and tools and maps and processes that are so empowering, that make it possible for emotional healing to happen, and then from there for, you know, radical collaboration to happen. This is so cool.
It is my turn. And Nicole, I want to echo a few things that Gabriella said. I've been using the phrase myself, like about team, with the kids I've been working with and with my ex-partner when we were going through breakup. And yeah, I think a lot of that comes from you and my time with you when we were traveling together. And just, yeah, having this sense that you were and are on my team, and that looks a lot of different ways. And I didn't experience this so much with you, but this being on someone's team also being sometimes like sharing the brutal, honest truth with someone about like how I'm feeling about something, and still being able to say to someone like, I'm actually on your team and I really need to tell you this thing. And I see a bit more acceptance of this kind of thing in places where people are practicing radical honesty or possibility management. Even it's hard for me there, but when I go out into the regular world or the modern culture world, that being especially hard. But it was in large part of being with you and experiencing that from you. Also just this, yeah, I'm on your team no matter what, and whatever way, in the time that I was with you. And I'm really also very glad to hear you say today that like you're allowing this sadness, joy thing to happen. And you're also like, you're also starting to be like, no, I'm not doing this thing. I'm not doing this thing. I am going to do this thing. Because there was also that concern of like, you're being too selfless, you know, like, so I'm glad that there's like this, I'm glad to hear about that too. Yeah. And just, I appreciate the intense, for me, very intense space that we had when we were together for parts of it, where I was going through things that I actually don't even fully understand still now, many months later. But just knowing that you're someone with whom I and other people can really stand at the edge of the world with. Like, I remember being above that huge lake with whatever thing I was going through, wherever we camped on the side of the road, and just like not knowing what the hell was going on with me, but being able to say, Nicole, I need like 24 hours of like full-time care where I might just be in this constant mushy liquid state and I don't know what the hell is going on. And you were like, yes. So yeah, thank you for being you and for being here, and also just for your tenacity of, you know, of being on your path wherever it's going and whatever parts it are, just like knowing at different points, being with you and knowing that things have been rough at times, and maybe, you know, maybe every week, or, you know, maybe at different times over the year, but just still being here and still being here doing this. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Matthew. I was sitting right here, our first calls. Goodbye, Gabriella.
Bye, Gabriella.
Bye.
Bye.
I was sitting right here, our first calls before we got together for that adventure. And what I'm remembering is this, it was like your radical honesty, like you bringing radical honesty into the space. And the radical honesty in me could just like, it could just flood in. And it was so magical. Hello, Meredith. Hello, Dawe.
Hi.
Hello, Nicole.
Hello,
Happy
Dawe.
birthday.
Hello,
Hello,
Meredith.
everyone.
Hi.
Hey. Happy birthday, Nicole.
Thank you. You're the first person, Matthew, that usually comes to mind when when this wave of radical honesty comes up as a possibility, or or comes toward me. Yeah, I feel glad that we share that and have had experiments together, creating such radically honest spaces that, yeah, really kind of the edge of the brutality that can happen, and yet when it's delivered, when it's held, that this brutal honesty becomes transformation, like becomes fuel for transformation.
When I see Matthew in the space and Nicole on one screen, then I think about the bear joining the rage experiments in the forest.
Hmm.
and, and that's a legend, I think, which will ripple into the field many years after you had this experiment together. Who saw it?
He was on his own for that.
Who saw
Yeah,
the video?
the bear was on my own, but Nicole and I had the in the car 333 parts, yeah, where we were far away using towels, but still the ferry attendant or conductor heard us from, you know, whatever 100 meters away and came over to check and made sure we were okay.
And but the bear video
Not Matthew?
of Matthew, yeah, but we weren't
Wasn't with me.
traveling.
Ah, okay.
It was
Okay.
Matthew who
Nevertheless.
in the 3 experiment in the forest, this bear came to it was as if the bear came to check on him, like, are you okay, buddy? And the time we were together, so many animals came near. I think, Matthew, you are a wildlife magnet.
Could be. Yeah.
Mm.
And it was doing fear as well, feeling fear with the bear, which was really interesting because, you know, expressing intense fear. The bear came, I stood up, I looked at the camera, and I was filming it because I wanted to have this as an example for people to use it. It just so happened I had the camera on that time. The bear came and looked, and then I tried to, well, I felt fear when I saw the bear for about 3 seconds, and it went away, I guess, because I was just expressing this huge fear. And then I was really happy. Like, I felt really glad. And so I was waving to the bear. I was like, hello, because it was just like, you know, it was not far away, and they would not look at me. It just walked down the hill, and I followed the bear down the hill. Hello, I'd like to talk with you. Nope. So yeah, it was quite a thing. Yeah.
Wow.
The next legend that comes to mind is we were on the beach one day, and there was a girl, and she was with 2 older boys or bigger boys, and she was screaming, and she had this really authentic fear scream. And I can't remember how it went, but I think how it went was Matthew said something like, "Are you seeing what I'm seeing?" Because these birds started circling over her, and like it was like they were coming and checking on her also. And yeah, it gave me this like somehow this thing to watch for about how, you know, Gaia through other animals has this way of holding space for the emotions of humans. And what else is there about that? And I've had things weave in through my life about different animals and the relation with humans, like whales and dolphins and elephants, and even like, you know, the predator vicious wild cats, and how there can be this interspecies convergence where the, you know, the old stories of predator prey just kind of are dropped, at least for a time. Hello, Candace.
Hey, how are you?
I am well. Welcome to this very cool convergence space.
So happy birthday.
Thank you.
Officially.
And I feel joy. Candace and I are fresh out of a conversation on the phone last night
It's a great conversation. It was so wonderful.
and I wonder how you are after jumping down the rabbit hole in some of
You know,
the
I my brain was so like just from work yesterday that I'm like, I couldn't even go down the rabbit hole yet. Because my brain was just fried from work. And I had to figure out some my bill situation and stuff like that. Like I gotta figure out what bills I can pay. So yeah, I kind of went down that rabbit hole instead, but I'm definitely looking forward to going down the other rabbit hole. I did look at the books list and the movie list, and I'm like, ooh, there's a few books in there that I'm like, yeah, I gotta read that.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'll see you later today, and I do have that one book for you.
Yeah.
Hello, Anna.
Hi.
Hello, Anna.
Hello. Martin and some new people. And hello, birthday girl. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
We've been sharing appreciations. Gabriella started this before she got off, and so that space is still open and shifting into other things, but just saying.
I'll jump in on that. Nicole, just the throbbing word of possibilities. I just feel that. I feel you are and ignite it's yeah. I'm not even remembering how we first met, but I have a vivid embodied memory of being in line at Trader Joe's. There was a really long line 3 years ago, and talking with you for a long time. I think the first time that we spoke on the phone. And it was like finding water in the desert, speaking with you, and just I almost can't, the line between what your imagination and, some of it's come to be, some of it will come to be. It almost is like, I feels to me like a blur of your imagination is so alive, and the line between what has come to be and what will come to be, it's so fluid. That in itself is just a transmission. I feel like seeing you or hearing your voice or talking with you reminds me of what's possible in such a visceral way. I'm so grateful for that.
Thank you, Kalita.
There's something also just of you emanate, you are not alone. That just transmits, and it's priceless. Thank you.
You. I feel glad to have the beginnings of plans to be in person with you, and that it will be in the San Francisco Bay Area is super interesting to me because, and this book that I want to pass on to Candace is The Fifth Sacred Thing by Starhawk, and it takes place in this imagined future in San Francisco, and I love this book because it feeds something in my archetypal lineage about these visions of what's possible that have come out of my, I'll bring my other copy. These visions that come out of my experience as a single mother without a village in modern culture. And how it seems to have been is that out of what was missing, I gleaned a possibility of another kind of world. And when I encountered possibility management, I started to hear and talk about and hear other people talk about things that were going in that direction as far as I could tell. And it's cool that, you know, the first time I read that book 7 years ago, and I had created Awakening House, which was a precursor of a bridge house. And, you know, here now on the screen, there's Christina and Martin, with whom I was at in the Possibility Coaching Bridge House in Czechia last year, and Dawe and Meredith, with whom I will be with whom I am in the New York Bridge House project. And also you, Anna, having you here, and this love that's in our space, that, and this intimacy we've cultivated that is also somehow relevant to a vision of empowering mothers as seeds of Gaian eco-villages, so that the necessity that they have with their children in this desert of modern culture can be watered, and this new culture can overgrow up through, you know, this beautiful Canadian singer Joni Mitchell, who sings about how paradise was paved over by parking lots, and it's like the dandelions and the pioneer plants that grow up through the cracks in the pavement and start to reclaim the parking lot over paradise, so that this new version of Gaian aliveness, where humans are part of it rather than apart from it, and where mothers have the village they need to raise their children and also continue their own evolution, and not be in this modern culture way of being cut off from any other purpose while they, you know, be a mother, or trying to be a mother and something else, and so not being able to fully be either, because it takes a village. And yeah, to have this represented on this birthday, in this birthday call, is precious and touching me. And something that came through in the last couple of days was that I had put aside a lot of my visioning, a lot of my storytelling about the village of my wildest dreams, while I did this inner, you know, recreating my inner village and getting all my parts into a regenerative state. And yeah, and something came up and out in the last couple of days too, along with this change of mind about going to the New York Bridge House. But yeah, I wonder what will come about. And for now, I'm here with you, feeling this joy of having a team, and being on so many other people's teams as Gaia with Gaia. Hello, Dor.
Hello, everyone. Happy birthday, Nicole.
Thank you.
Welcome, Dor.
Nicole, Dawe, I will stop you for a moment because we will need to go. I have not spoken, and I want to say, Nicole, I appreciate your commitment for a team or for being a yes. I remember a story where we were about to say and do videos from in our bridge house, and I have not had a value, or I have not seen this value in making video of wallet. And then Nicole came and said, yes, I want to learn that. I want to learn that from you. And this kind of this necessity came into my space, and I could open and like be with you, like and give let the flow of my being with you. And I'm still remember this moment of like you being yes, and this energy coming, and yes, and bring yourself in, and this invitation by being with. And yeah, and I appreciate that. I'm so glad for you, and that you are here on this planet with your power to waken up people.
Thank you, Martin.
Hello.
And hi, Phyllis. I also want to talk because in 4 minutes our community meeting starts. Like we're in the intensive days in the community we're living in, and the break is over, so we're starting in some minutes. And I feel so glad that I know you, Nicole, because without you, the Bridge House would have not happened. Like you were crazy enough to stay with me on the calls and meet every week or every second week, and we were grinding towards unfolding the possibility of the first possibility coaching Bridge House. And yeah, with you being so stubborn and dedicated, right? Like to really come over to Czech Republic from Canada and be with me in the space was making it possible. And even you were 2 times almost jumping off somehow, but still you stayed. And I'm glad that I got to know you in so many different facets. Like I experienced so many Nicoles, and I'm glad to met the diversity of you already, and I think there's even more, and I'm glad to be on your team. Your slogan, I'm on your team. And yes, that's definitely, yeah, I'm glad you're on my team and I'm on your team too. And I love you.
No, thank you, Martin.
And Martin has birthday today too.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Martin.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Nicole and Martin.
I'll jump from that share by Christina and Martin. Sort of stole my appreciation, but it's this thing of you can't stop Nicole from being on your team. And when Nicole, it's like I just got on a phone call with Nicole about letting this transformational gathering we're on a team about now.
You're going.
Bye.
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 And then I was just talking with my other friends that were working on this, and they're like, "Oh, awesome! Like, how'd you get her to join the team?" And I was just like, "I don't know. We didn't even have a very long conversation about it. We were talking for like, I didn't even like have a clear thing to tell her about it. No website, no flyer. I sort of just explained it for half a minute, and then she was in, and she got it. And it might have been Meredith actually that I said, who asked me like, yeah, well, okay, so like who is this person? What is she like? And I said, she's kind of like this bolt of lightning across the sky. And it just fits so well now of like extra dimensional and if you want, you can come down to the ground and strike whatever team and empower it with all of your energy. And I've had a tremendous amount of fun being on multiple teams with you now.
Shark's like, bolt of lightning, hey? All right. Oh, Candace, you're on mute. I muted you because there was lots of noises. Do you see how to unmute yourself? Here.
Okay, there you go. I was gonna say, like, I would agree with the bolt of lightning, But I would add to that, but it's not you're not shocking in the bolt of lightning kind of way. It's sort of like you're a gentle bolt of lightning. If that even makes sense.
Now there's
Yeah.
a paradox.
Right? Hey, but you know what? Life is full of paradoxes. So
I love it. I feel glad because I can, yeah. This is somehow expansive for me to fill that space between a potentially deadly thing and something that brings aliveness into a system. Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Is
I'm
the back
really
strumming
excited
coming through?
going down the possibility management rabbit hole and like checking it out and learning what it's all about and stuff like that, because it's just, after our conversation last night, you and I always have the most interesting conversations. I love it. And after a year of like when you first told me about it, I'm finally going to kind of go down that rabbit hole. I'm really looking forward to seeing what it's all about. But it's just, I was the little bit of going down the rabbit hole last night. I'm like looking through this website. I'm like, oh my God, my ADHD brain was ready to explode. Because I kind of went into overwhelm, right? Because there's so many things. But I'm looking forward to checking it out and like finding out what it's all about and seeing where it takes me. And like all of us.
You're on the screen right now with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people who use possibility management.
Cool.
That's pretty quick.
Hello. Yeah. So Nicole sort of gave a bit of an introduction last year when she came out to Vancouver and we got together, and it was sort of like I didn't even really comprehend it at the time. And then we kind of we chatted last night for like an hour and a half, I think. And she kind of told me a little more about it. And I was just like, oh, yes, yes, yes. And so she sent me some info, a link to follow for one of the websites. And yeah,
Oh, Candace, this door here, right here, who's just come on, that's who's holding space for the unhookable work that's currently happening. So
Welcome to the rabbit hole, Candice. You made it.
Nicole and we spent quite a bit of time talking about the ethical thing, and I'm like, oh yeah, like this is something like like in the mundane world. I drive, I'm driving a bus right now, which is not really what I want to do with my life, but I got to pay the bills, right? And kind of a silly example, but like traffic, right? When you drive for a living, normally I work in film, but the film industry is kind of dead right now. Even spending an hour or so driving, that you learn what how bad people are out there. And I get triggered by it, like so badly triggered. And I had a little thing last night where somebody just pissed me off because he was being stupid, and I ranted about it to myself as I'm driving my bus back to the yard for like 20 minutes.
By the way, I just want to share, Candice, that if you want to know, it's like what you're saying right now is really about being hooked. And so yes, you're welcome. I can share with you more about it if you want about the event. I just want to jump in because I don't have a lot of time, but I just want to jump in and say something for Nicole, that I really love being on a team with you, like everyone said here, and I really resonate with your journey and what you're doing. And I feel really glad that you're in this game world. You're one of those points of light in this game world that I really love connecting and I resonate with. Because some people here, we don't always resonate with, but like with you, I really resonate, and I'm really happy you're on my team, and I'm really glad to celebrate this birthday with you, like with this possibility of jumping online and being with you. So yeah, thank you for being.
Thank you, Dor. Dor, I often hear myself telling the legend of you standing up in the Mafra lab to be the man in the room who held space for the anger of women. And that just I'm so glad I was there that day.
Yeah, I was there for
Oh
that.
yeah, it was
Yeah, I'm
scary.
absolutely there for that too. Yeah, you know how liquid you were for the next few days. I just was like, yes.
See, now I want to know what happened, because that sounds really, really cool, the little bit you're sharing.
Maybe I'll tell you the full legend when I see you tonight. Yeah, that it was him.
I'd like to jump in if I can,
Go
because
for it. Welcome.
I have a short amount of time here. I just, we have been in groups together since the Building Love That Lasts group started. What was that, 3 years ago, or I don't know,
Yes.
3 years ago, something like that. And then subsequently several other smaller groups. And I am just taken with, actually inspired with the amount where you've taken this work and who you are today. And I remember who you were back then. And the amount of confidence and centeredness that you have now, Matrix is like, whew. Yeah, I would make a sound. You've just like exploded. And it's just very inspiring to me. And I really appreciate that role model. And you've done it in circumstances that are scary, and you still move forward. And so I love you, and I wanted to tell you that how much I appreciate where you've come and how much of a role model that is for me. And also how much you add to each of the groups that we've been in. So anymore. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Phyllis. Phyllis, I want to see you in person when I go down south too.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that. Yes. And you and I are in a gremlin group now, a 3-cell
Yes.
now. And oh my God, that last meeting for me was, I mean, the piece of feedback that you gave me just changed me. So excuse me, I'm walking on rocks, so I gotta look. Yeah, so just thank you for that. And yes, that's as much as I can think of right now, but there'll be more. And I really look forward to seeing you in person. And I wish you a huge happy birthday.
Thank
I'm
you.
so glad people are showing up for you. This is your team. We are your people.
Thank you.
Yeah. I will see you when you come down this way.
Yes. Goodbye for now.
Yes.
I'd like to jump on. So Nicole, I'm just barely getting to know you, and I really resonate with everyone sharing, like, being on your team. I feel like we've connected a handful of times, and your open-heartedness and ability to like welcome me in. I feel like I've known you for so long, and I'm truly touched at how welcoming you are. And even in, online spaces, when you're a yes, you are a yes, and you won't be in a space that you're not fully committed to. And even being, in the Telegram group about the education group, where you're reflecting on whether you're going to be there or not. It's like, wow, yeah, am I here to do something and to be here, or am I just going to be watching? And so it's really comforting, like when you're there, you're full on and fully committed, and it makes me, I'm like, oh yeah, me too. If I'm here, I'm here. And so I'm very grateful for that, and that you bring that to the spaces that you're in.
Thank you, Meredith.
Thank you for sharing, Meredith. Nicole, you have a birthday today, so it's signaling the I guess a year from the last year that you celebrated, and now there's gonna be a whole new year until the next time that you're gonna celebrate. So I wonder what you wish for yourself for that year, or maybe you have your own spin on that question, but something like that.
Mm. What comes is this picture I've seen of how the sun, and this is like my solar return. This is what birthdays are. This is how 1 year is decided, is that you go around the sun once. And this picture of the sun and how the sun is going through the galaxy and the planets are kind of chasing after it as it does its thing, and they're circling there. There's this kind of ever building spiral of aliveness through the context of the universe. And yeah, I think it kind of connects what you said, Meredith. I appreciate that so much. And this is what I want. What I want is to be in life, alive as a full yes. And where I go on the surface of Gaia and who I weave with is, I think this is what I've been learning lately is how to keep my yes so big for myself, so that the spaces I'm in, that's what I bring, and really starting to dare more often to admit when this isn't how it's going, and to say no at risk of like something crashing or something being ignited or causing a consequence in a way that my box thinks is bad and wrong. And yet there have been times when I've experienced other people's like really big no as transformational. And so I think this is something that I want to learn this year, and that I'm putting my attention on, so that I can start to really get that no is also a kind of yes. And that this way I've had of spreading myself thin, and of this kind of like this bright principle of acceptance and generosity having a dark side to it of like martyrdom or something, of letting whatever I bring be so diluted that it doesn't get to do what it could do. Yeah, wow, thank you, Dor. I feel joy to hear myself say that.
Thank you for sharing that. Also, Nicole, can you share something about your plans that might change, but your plans in the near future? Whatever you know about that you're already committed to creating or doing, just maybe to know where physically you're going to be around.
Yeah. Dor, you may not have heard yet, I changed my mind about going to Europe at the end of September. And I changed my mind, and now I'm part of the New York Bridge House with Dawei and Meredith. And I feel, this is really like instead of spreading myself out over all that way, I'm really focusing my attention and the team we're on together, which is the Experience Archaearchy travel guide, book writing, Archaearchy project finding, interviewing, putting on the map team. This it weaves into there too, because it's really becoming I'm listed on the website as part of the American team, like the North America is my territory for this. And there have been projects out in the East that I've had on my list. And it's like, oh, now I'm going there. I'm not waiting to go to Europe and then come back and try to figure out how I'm going to do it all. And so this is my next when I leave the Sunshine Coast where I am now, will be to go down to the San Francisco Bay Area and meet up with Meredith and Dawe, go to the ETB and the lab in California, and then kind of build with Meredith and Dawe and the rest of the Lighting the Edge team to host, to create whatever size gathering this will be. And then to come back up to, I think I'll come back up to Canada for a while there after that, just to show the US Border Patrol people that they can believe what I say, that I go back to Canada, because I have the story that the US Border Patrol thinks everyone from Canada wants to be American, and I don't know why they would think that, but they do. And so, and then, yeah, something about being out east in the United States. I don't know what that journey will look like to get there. Last year, this is how Matthew and I ended up being in the Lone Wolf Adventure. I'm becoming a Lone Wolf Adventure tour, is that I wanted to go out east to visit Ethan and Sarah at the Possibility Alliance in Maine. And I didn't make it past Calgary, which turned out to be perfect, because this is how, hello, Dimitra. This is how I was,
oh, Nicole.
This is how I was there for when my son Sagan had his massive transformation experience.
Nicole, it's time for me and Meredith to depart this space and look forward for the next one we're in together, which will not be so long.
Yes. Yes. See you in the next space. Goodbye for now.
Goodbye, everyone.
See you guys.
Hello, Dimitra. Welcome.
Thank you, Nicole. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday. And hello to Matthew and Andor, I know, and Candice, hello.
Hi.
You mentioned Joni Mitchell before, Nicole, and just earlier this morning I was playing and singing Both Sides Now. Do you know that song?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really wonderful one. If you haven't heard it before. I need to look at the lyrics. I'll play it if people want to hear it and or sing it together.
Yes. Go.
I'll pull up the tabs because I don't know it by heart without looking. But yeah, if you know it, sing it. And if you need the lyrics, it's called Both Sides Now.
Here's a very long link in the chat to the lyrics.
Okay, cool. I'm not seeing you all's faces anymore because I've got the lyrics up. So let me know when you've got them there. Is the guitar coming through?
No.
Okay.
Right now, no.
I think I've got to adjust the settings that mute the background noise and let the background noise come through, because that's probably how it's registering. Background noise suppression low. That's what I want.
Yes.
Coming through now?
Yes.
Great. Are the lyrics up?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see how it goes. Rows and flows of angel hair and ice cream castles in the air and feather canyons everywhere. I've looked at clouds that way, but now they only block the sun. They rain and snow on everyone. So many things I would have done, but clouds got in my way. I've looked at clouds from both sides now, from up and down, and still somehow it's cloud illusions. I recall I really don't know clouds at all. Moons and Junes and Ferris wheels, the dizzy dancing way you feel as every fairy tale comes real. I've looked at love that way, but now it's just another show. You leave them laughing when you go, and if you care, don't let them know. Don't give yourself away. I've looked at love from both sides now, from give and take, and still somehow it's love's illusions. I recall I really don't know love at all. Tears and fears and feeling proud to say I love you right out loud. Dreams and schemes and circus crowds, I've looked at life that way. But now old friends are acting strange. They shake their heads, they say I've changed. Well, something's lost, but something's living every day. I've looked at life from both sides now, win and lose, and still somehow it's life's illusions. I recall I really don't know life at all.
Thank you, Matthew.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yeah. I only discovered that song about, I don't know, 6 months ago, and I really, really like it. Yeah. Yeah, when I hear it and or play it or sing it, I usually feel sad. It's this sadness about like, yeah, just recognizing again and again, like as I change, as the people around me change, that yeah, I really don't know life. You know, it's like this recognition again. I don't know life at all, actually. Yeah, that's usually what comes up for me.
Yeah, it's a great song. I love Joni Mitchell. She's one of my favorite. I haven't listened to her in a really long time, so thank you for the reminder of that. I got to pull up my Joni Mitchell collection again.
Yeah.
She lives up here on the Sunshine Coast, so sometimes you see her on the ferry.
Whereabouts? Do you know where she lives on Sunshine Coast? Like roughly?
No.
Somewhere up here, up that way. That's cool. Because I thought she'd like left Canada permanently. I didn't realize she'd come back.
Oh, I might be wrong about it.
I mean, I thought at one point she was in LA for a long time, but yeah. Love Joni Mitchell. She's amazing.
Yeah, I'll add just to that I watched a concert of hers from the 70s sometime, and you know there were uh, she is or was, I don't know, you know, then in that moment was a possibilitator in the way that she's at this concert in England, and I couldn't hear what the crowd was saying, but I don't know if they were taunting her or not paying attention, but she would just stop playing and be like, I remember her saying this thing, like she's like, you know, you all are being a bunch of tourists, and she's like, I can't do this work while you're here. Like, stop. You know, it was just the way she was with this huge, enormous, you know, like Woodstock, huge field crowd size of people. Was pretty amazing to watch. And she stopped playing a song at a certain point. She's like, actually, I don't want to play that song. So I'll play a different one. She got like halfway through it. So it was really cool to watch her.
Your mind.
Yeah, yeah, and just be there as she was. So
Holding her boundaries too. Like I love that. It's like, you know, why are you guys here if you're not gonna just be in space and listen?
yeah, yeah. My stomach is calling for some food, and yeah, I'm ready to move to my next space here. But I'm really glad to have seen you, Nicole, and Dimitra again after quite a long time. Glad that I was here when you hopped in, and Dora, if you're still here, glad to have seen you too.
Still here. Good to see you, man. Thank you for the song again. It was amazing, and you're sharing. I enjoyed what you said about Joni Mitchell, because I have this story that you, like on this journey to becoming an artist like that, you must learn these skills as a space holder or something like that. So yeah, so this sharing was right on the spot of what I'm researching right now. Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah,
And
Matthew, thank you. And I feel glad to discover how it goes from here.
we'll see. And Anna and Candace, nice to meet you for the first time and see you. Yeah.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Have a good eating time.
Thank you.
Matthew, ciao.
Bye,
The
Dimitri.
song was beautiful.
Thanks.
Hello.
Hello, Volker. Welcome.
Happy birthday, Nicole.
Hello, Volker.
Thank you.
Hello, Dor. Hello, Anna. Hello, Dimitra. Hello, Andis.
Use the gap and jump off, and I wish you a lovely day. And I'm looking forward to seeing you.
Thank you, Anna. Bye for now.
Bye for now.
How was your day?
It's so far it's been so perfect. It's sunny and fresh outside here on the Sunshine Coast. I started with a call with Dawei and Meredith about the New York Bridge House, that I'm now on the team for that. After you were one of the first people who heard about my change of mind in the Money Club space. And yeah, it was cool because when I first opened this call space, for a while, all of the team from the Bridge House in Czechia were here, and then the New York Bridge House people also were here at the same time. So there was this cool meeting of Bridge House worlds. Yeah, and then there have been people come in and out from. It's all been so nourishing.
Yes, that sounds and it feels like a very nice idea to do this, because then you can connect to so many people all over.
Yeah. Yeah.
I actually wanted to come earlier, but we also had a nice celebration. Actually, it was a barbecue with some friends, and I don't do this as often at the moment. And my son is also here, and he was really enjoying, so I couldn't go earlier.
Yeah, great.
Yes. Yeah.
Nicole, oh, sorry.
No, please.
I know that the Bridge House in Czechia was a big part of your adventures this year. Would you share some legends about it? Because I don't know, I feel like I didn't hear it enough.
Oh,
Would
wow.
you share something about it?
Yeah. Yeah, Christina and I in a call yesterday, we had committed to writing articles about it, and none of the articles have come out yet. So this is perfect timing for, wow, the legends of the Possibility Coaching Bridge House in Czechia. One of the first things that comes to mind is how ECHO, the Earth's Coincidence Control Office, was with us. For example, we had made the first week about landing and setting up the space and really consolidating the team. We'd been only seeing each other online for that whole time. We arrived and we had this 1 week, and then we had booked a Possibilitator week, and nobody signed up for it. And by the time it happened, even though there was this kind of sadness and anger and fear, why didn't this happen? How did that, what do we need to adjust? There was this joy because it really worked to have this extra week to continue to land and continue to like really energetically line the space and use the EHP dojo space and do processes and really get into a kind of emergent rhythm of, you know, how we wanted it to be and how and what worked and what didn't work. And we ate the most delicious food, and there was never anything about who would cook, who would clean up. It all just rolled because the context of radical responsibility was really alive that way. And every now and then it would be a time where everyone made something for themselves one morning, and then it would come back into somebody saying, I will make lunch. And we had one tradition about it, which was that whoever cooked was not allowed to clean up after the meal. And there were never dishes left. So many community houses and intentional community spaces that, you know, their biggest thing is like, how do you get people to wash the dishes? It just was not even on the map as a problem. Oh,
Wow, cool.
yeah. And
Sounds fun.
yeah. And my story is that the space was so energetically real, like energetically set, that there were times when someone would be bounced out or just pulled in, and was so Echo at Work. It started so mind-blowingly crazy. I was on the plane from Calgary to Paris and Paris to Prague. And on the plane from Paris to Prague, I'm sitting there waiting for the plane to take off. And 4 people, 2 men and 2 women, who were dressed in Hutterite clothing, which is a very, yeah, Hutterites are like the Amish or Doukhobors. They were next culture, distinct culture of people who were run out of Europe. And a bunch of them came to Canada, and they've been there for generations. And they don't go on planes. So I was like, wow, you're Hutterite and you're on a plane. What's happening? And I heard from this young couple that sat beside me while the elder couple sat on the other side of the plane that they had been invited by a village in Czechia who had heard this story of how their village pushed out these people. And they wanted to invite the descendants of these people and apologize and celebrate.
Wow.
Celebrate that this change had come into their world. And these 4 people were the ones who had said yes to this invitation. And as far as I know, nobody else did. I had a friend here in Alberta who grew up in a Hutterite community. And he was traveling in Europe, and he had come to a Rage Club and a Conscious Feelings introduction with me. And we had been in touch in case maybe he could come to the Bridge House. And I thought of him as I was with these families. And when I got to the Bridge House, I sent him a message saying, oh, I sat on the plane with some Hutterite people. And he said, he sent me a picture back. He said, that was my sister and her husband and my mother and father.
Wow.
And he had picked them up at the airport the same time that Christina and Martin picked up me and Gabriella from the airport.
Wow.
And then
Crazy.
he said, I'm
Yes,
going to come to the Bridge House. This is too crazy a coincidence to ignore.
Wow.
So he came. Yeah.
Yeah, crazy story.
Right? Echo at Work. Yes.
Wow. I love those legends. Thank you. You know, I thought you're gonna say in the end that the 4 Hammerites came to the Bridge House. That could be an interesting experiment.
Wow, that would have been really interesting. And what I will say about it is that while this friend of mine, Paulo, was at the Bridge House, he spoke a lot about growing up in this very distinct other culture that was very much a village. And it's opened the possibility of I've asked if I can visit his family's community. And my sense is that it's a very slow moving thing. They haven't had experiences with modern culture outsiders that have been nourishing for them. very often. So, but it was cool to get that seed of connection, especially with me and his sister. They asked me what I was doing in Czechia too, and I told them about the Bridge House. And she said, and I told them about emotional healing processes and possibility coaching spaces. And she said, I think you're someone who could see things about people that maybe other people don't see. And I said, I think that's accurate. And she said, what do you see about me? And I said, I looked at her and I saw this glimmer of her warrior. And I also saw that she has a very, very solid good girl box. And I said, my guess is that you're someone who is very sweet and kind and lovely, and yet you have this spark in you, and maybe it only comes out when you're alone with your husband. And they looked at each other and they just both had these kind of big smiles of like, oh, we've been found out, you know, this fiery part of this very sweet, very kind of small, like she wasn't very tall, and she was very thin. She was very had been seen, and I said I feel glad about this because I have the story that you have the makings of a strong woman who has gifts to bring your village, and as you grow up and as you find this part of yourself more, I feel joy that you have a husband who I think can hold space for that. Yeah, it was very cool. I felt so sad to say goodbye to them without having even learned their names. And then to find out that they were Paolo's family, I thought, yay, I haven't lost them after all.
It's crazy how these lineages of edge workers are even going in those communities. So even in that community, that family had this lineage of an edge worker, and that's what drove them to go to Czechia to find this thing out.
Yeah.
And what I took from your story is that also this part about seeing other people, because I think me and you, Nicole, have this same thing. I don't know, maybe it's a story about you that we are village weavers. And then a lot of time I'm trying to weave people or I'm trying to open doors for them to get like a certain magic, a taste of the magic. So they want to connect more. But I think now I discovered from what you shared, there's another premature part where it's about seeing someone first before you try to open a door or something. Just like seeing what they are and maybe acknowledging that. And I'm glad you shared about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you.
And also another part about all this like I met these two people that, like a woman that she's a priest in a very advanced, I don't know how to call it because I don't have the terms for that game world, but advanced church community that is really big also in the States. And she told me we're the most radically on the edge from all the churches in the States. And I talked to them, and they were part of their matrix was very similar to possibility management people. And I almost feel like in all these communities there are these lineages of edge workers that are already going to very similar stuff to where we're going with this, and you know, and collaborating with them can be an interesting possibility.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. It's amazing to hear about that. Thank you. I've been joining calls in the game world of Violence Anonymous, the 12-step kind of branch of, you know, that Alcoholic Anonymous was the first thing, and now there's this growing awareness about addiction, as you know, like on the addiction, my Strikingly website, it says the addiction is not the problem, the addiction is the solution to the problem. What's the problem? And applying this to violence, and applying it especially to the low drama triangle, they don't have the distinction of high drama and low drama, but they have a lot of clarity about the low drama as the drama triangle. And these calls are like drips of water that just slowly but surely like cut into the stone. And the people in the calls, they have this commitment to getting themselves off the low drama triangle, just bit by bit by bit. And there's so much clarity in the writings, and yeah, I see the people on the screen in those calls also as edge workers. And it's so cool to discover this whole game world happening where the context of radical responsibility is coming alive.
You shared with them the map, the low drama map in the meeting?
No, I haven't. They have it already. They have the map of the drama triangle. They don't have the high drama triangle, or it's kind of like it hasn't been so distinguished. And my sense is that as I become more familiar with the game world, I start to kind of like see gaps where I could bring some maps in, and so far I haven't yet. And yeah, I think it's coming. And there are some of the other people, especially from Gremlin training, are from possibility management spaces, are appearing in those spaces lately.
In the 12-step spaces.
Particularly in the Violence Anonymous spaces, which is a Violence Anonymous is for people who have been on the drama triangle as victims, persecutors, and or rescuers. And mostly there's this building awareness that it's all three. It's round and round.
I know this from codependency.
Yeah.
Also these coda meetings.
Yeah.
Yes. There are some similarities, but there are also some differences in my view. I was visiting them when I was in the clinic, because it was a 12-step clinic.
Mm.
And this was, I mean, it's very interesting, and I really enjoyed to go through these 12 steps in a how it's called, in a theoretically way, not completely in a practical way, but I mean, there are also very interesting parts what they are doing about these steps, yeah, that they are going very, very much in this radical responsibility to take responsibility what was happening in the past and how one can change things, or one has to change things oneself if one wants to come out of these dramas, the addiction.
Yeah.
Because there are, yeah, all these 12-step groups call these addictions what they are doing, or in what they are. Yeah, it's very interesting. But I never thought to combine these, so it's also very interesting distinction to think about that.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw, Volker, that
I've seen it, yes. You wrote something.
There's a in the, I think it's in the Possibility Creation Village, Michael, his last name starts with an L. He's holding space for a call that's about the possibility management world and the 12-step world.
Ah, yes, yes, I've seen something,
Yeah.
yes.
I think it's next week sometime.
Who does that?
No, I
Michael,
think it's
yeah.
I think it's Luis Trinidad and David. They have a work talk about it.
I'll find it and I'll somehow make it more visible, because yeah, maybe there's more than one too.
Yes.
Hello, Nicole.
Hi.
Hello, Rudolph.
Hi.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. Feliz
Thank you.
cumpleaños.
Feliz cumpleaños.
Thank you. I feel glad to see you. It has been an amazing time on this call, and seeing people from so many different parts of the world zooming in and weaving. Yeah, just some people meeting for the first time like in a call since hearing about each other, or even communicating, I think, through Telegram, seeing posts from each other. And yeah, I feel joy that this birthday Zoom in village weaving space can be in service to the villagers finding each other and creating more connection, having more experience of each other.
Yeah, thanks for holding the space, and yeah, I feel glad and I feel joy to connect with you on your special day.
Thank you. We've had some songs and we've had legend sharing and questions, and yeah, it's been rich.
Where are you at the moment, and what are your plans actually?
I'm calling in today from the Sunshine Coast of British Columbia in Canada, so the Pacific Coast, and I'll be here for another 2 or 3 weeks before I go down to California for the ETBN lab in Mendocino with Vera and Patricio, and then I'll be and I'll also see Dawei and Meredith there. And then with Dawei and Meredith, for the next 3 or so weeks, we'll be weaving, and I'll be village weaving with people I know there and working toward this Lighting the Edge gathering that we're holding space for in a campground. It's very much an experiment. And after that, I think I'll come back up to Canada and have some time on Vancouver Island, and yeah, I'll see how it goes. There's some projects that I want to visit as part of the Experience Archiarchy project. And then I will be I'm part now of the New York Bridge House. So I'll go in September, I'll go to start the physical part of that experiment, 3 months in upstate New York with Dawei and Meredith and whoever else becomes part of that team. I wonder who else will become part of that team.
Cool.
And then in the planning of my wildest dreams, then would start a time of more Bridge House for December, January, February, March, and then a caravan, and on like a mobile Bridge House of next culture nomads going from place to place, similar to what Devin and Vera did a couple of years ago here in the US. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Sounds like an upcoming adventurous journey.
Yes, the adventure factor is intensifying. Dory, are you talking? You're mute.
You are talking to us, Dor. You are muted.
Yeah, sorry, my screen is a bit broken. I cannot see so much. What made the bridge house be in New York from all places? Do you know?
Yes. Meredith's family has a farm with a big farmhouse there. And when she asked, they said yes to having that happen there.
So a bridge house, can I ask this question? A bridge house is not a bridge house which is existing as a bridge house always. It's sometimes there and sometimes there.
Yeah,
So it's like a project which is sometimes on different places.
Yeah, the first bridge house experiments that are listed in the bridge house website were bridge houses that were gonna, some of them were gonna, was like, in a way it's reminds me of the distinction that everything is an experiment. If it's a conscious experiment, there's more possibility, but an experiment has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And some experiments end when you die. And some experiments end on a certain date. And so this is how it's going with bridge houses. Some of them have no anticipated end date. And then it was Christina who originated the Possibility Coaching Bridge House as a 3-month project. And that was the first time that I had heard of a bridge house having a clear end date. And so this, I think this created a lot of possibility for temporary bridge house experiments that were still full-on bridge house experiments. And I feel joy about this because then I can experience many different kinds of bridge houses before I maybe originate one that the plan is for it to stay and last, and then it's a matter of replacing myself rather than it being over if I ever want to leave.
So the bridge house in New York is in New York State, not right? Like,
Yeah,
okay.
it's in upstate
It's
New York, in a rural area. And Patricio is one of the other core team. He won't be living there, but he will be really like he will be like the meta circle. And there's a plan, there will probably be an ETB and or a lab at the bridge house as part of the 3-month experiment.
What months are it gonna be? What dates do you know?
September 15th until December 15th. You are all invited. I think it's safe to say.
We were just talking that like now from Spain there are like direct flights to New York. They just recently announced that.
Here in Mallorca.
Yeah.
Spain always, but especially Mallorca now.
Wow.
And will you be the trainer there on the ETP?
No, it would be Patricio. Yeah.
Have you started giving ETPs and labs?
No. No,
What?
I've been so far my trainer territory is in phase 1 of conscious feelings work. And so yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Somebody asked me actually a couple of days ago, do you want to become an ETB trainer? And I felt surprised because I actually said no, and this was not what I expected. And then I kind of noticed what was happening, and what came next was no, and I want to be part of space holding teams delivering Expand the Box, where there's a team of trainers, not a trainer or two trainers, where it seemed like almost a next evolution of ETB delivery, maybe. And what I've noticed is that the ETB in Mendocino will be my fifth, I think. Yeah, it will be my fifth ETB. And so, and once you've done, I think, I don't remember how many, you stop paying. And I don't know if there's a point where you start getting paid to come, like where but maybe this is something that I can propose one day.
Yeah, that's the way.
Alice, where are you guys calling from?
We're calling from Spain, Mallorca, Balearic Island.
Okay.
Where are you calling from?
I am from in Nicaragua,
Mm.
in Jefe Island.
This is a pretty
And I
good
noticed-
spread. Wow. You in Ecuador, Alice and Rudolph in Spain, Dimitra in Greece, Volker in Germany, and me and Candice over here in Canada.
Amazing.
Wait, who's in Ecuador?
You.
No, I'm Nicaragua.
Oh, Nicaragua. Sorry.
But I want to go to Ecuador next, so it's interesting that you said that.
I also noticed that it's 2 minutes past the end time of the space that I set up for this. And I still have my breakfast here that I haven't eaten yet. And my tummy is starting to grumble. And I feel glad that I didn't eat, that I was here and was with you and with the others who came. And this has been recorded, and I'll send the recording to anyone who wants to see what they missed or see again part that they didn't miss. And yeah, I will close the space. And I look forward to seeing each of you in next spaces. And I look forward to seeing what unfolds as I make a new trip around the sun. Thank you for being here. Thank you for celebrating with me. Thank you for village weaving with me.
Thank you for making this possible. It is super nice idea.
Yeah, and good luck and a lot of amazing possibilities and adventures in the next circle around the sun.
Thank you.
Hope to see you in Poland in August.
I won't make it to Poland in August.
Nicole, happy birthday. Thank you for the space. It was amazing. And I wish to see you soon. And I love you. I'm sending you love.
Thank you, Dor.
Thank you for being on the planet.
Feel glad I get to be on the planet with you. Great timing.
Yeah, thank you.
Nicole, have a nice day. Enjoy.
Thank you,
So
Dimitra.
much. Nice to see you.
Sleep. For now. Goodbye,
I
Ken.
also send
Bye,
you love.
Volker.
Goodbye, Nicole.
Bye for now.
Goodbye.